Okay, so picture this. It's me and my amazing wife Nancy. We love a good game night, but we wanted to spice things up, so we invited our friends Justin and Jessica. They are super competitive, which is hilarious. We decided, let's not just play a board game. No, let's do a full-on double date challenge. We set up a bunch of silly games in the living room. It looked like a game show set. We had a little scoreboard and everything. We split into 2 teams, Team Fallon versus Team Timberlake. The prize? Bragging rights for a whole year. This was going to be epic. The energy was electric right from the start. We were all laughing before the first challenge even began. Justin was already doing little victory dances, which was just ridiculous. Jessica was trying to look serious like she was preparing for the Olympics. Nancy and I were just trying not to laugh too hard at them. We made a rule, no sore losers. But honestly, we all knew that rule was going to be tested. The first challenge was simple. Or so we thought. It was a test of teamwork and communication. The night was young, the snacks were ready, and the competition was officially on. Let's go! We stood across from each other, ready for battle. I gave Justin a look. He gave me one back. It was like one of those old Western movies but with more snacks and less tumbleweed. Nancy was our team captain, and she was focused. She had her game face on. I knew we were in good hands. The plan was to communicate, stay calm, and just have a blast. It's not about winning, right? Who am I kidding? It's totally about winning. But the fun part is the journey. The crazy, silly, and absolutely unpredictable journey of the challenges ahead. The first official game was called Say What? One person wears headphones blasting music, the other person has to whisper a secret phrase. It sounds easy, but it's not. Justin went first, and Jessica was whispering something like, "The purple hippo eats fluffy pancakes." Justin was shouting, "The perfect hippo eats flabby blankets." We were all crying with laughter. It was pure chaos. Then it was our turn. Nancy's phrase for me was 6 sticky swans swam swiftly. I thought she said 6 sticky songs slam swiftly. It was a complete mess, and honestly, the perfect way to kick off our challenge night. Next up was the food challenge. This is where things get real. We had a table with little cups. Some had yummy things like chocolate pudding or a little bit of ice cream. But some were tricky. We had things like ginger butter, a very salty cracker, and even a tiny drop of hot sauce. You had to taste it, and guess what it was? Blindfolds on. Nancy went first for our team. She got the chocolate pudding. Easy, she nailed it. "That's pudding, yes!" she yelled. I was so proud. Team Fallon was on the board with a point. The crowd goes wild. Then it was Jessica's turn. Justin handed her a cup. She took a small taste. Her face was priceless. It was like she tasted a sour lemon mixed with an old shoe. She scrunched up her nose and said, "What is that? Is it mustard and pickles?" It was actually a tiny bit of wasabi. Justin was laughing so hard he almost fell over. We all were. Seeing your friends react to weird foods is one of the best things ever. It's pure, unfiltered comedy. She did not get the point for that one, but she gave us a great laugh. So that's a win for everyone, right? After the taste test, we moved on to the fruit challenge. This was a speed round. A huge bowl of fruit was in the middle of the table. We had everything: bananas, dragon fruit, mangoes, kiwis, even a fig. The goal was to guess the fruit your partner was holding up. But you could only see a tiny piece of it. I was up against Justin. Nancy held up a slice of watermelon. I saw the green and pink. "Watermelon," I shouted. "Point for us!" Justin's turn. Jessica held up a sliver of mango. He hesitated. "Is that a sweet potato?" he asked. "A sweet potato! We lost it, it was so funny. The fruit game was a total hit. It was fast, it was fun, and it was full of surprises. Who knew identifying a raspberry from just a tiny glimpse could be so intense? Or that a kiwi looks a lot like a potato if you're not paying attention?" We were all shouting out answers, getting some right and getting some hilariously wrong. By the end of it, the score was getting close. Team Fallon was just slightly ahead, but Team Timberlake was catching up. The friendly competition was heating up, and we were all having the best time just being goofy together. The next phase of our challenge night was all about speed and coordination. First up, the color sort. We had a giant pile of colorful plastic balls in the middle of the floor. Blue, yellow, pink, green. Each team had a set of buckets. The goal was to sort as many balls as you could into the correct color bucket in 60 seconds. It sounds like a game for a toddler, right? Wrong. When you're against the clock and your friends are cheering and trying to distract you, it's madness. Absolute madness. It was like a workout, but way more fun. The timer started and we all dove in. It was a blur of colors. I was grabbing pink balls, Nancy was on green. Justin and Jessica were a machine. They had a system. He would toss the balls and she would catch them in the buckets. It was impressive. Nancy and I were more chaotic. We were bumping into each other, throwing balls into the wrong buckets by accident, and laughing the whole time. The living room looked like a rainbow had exploded. It was pure joyful chaos, and for a minute we all felt like kids again, just playing without a care in the world. After the color storm, it was time for the stacking showdown. This one required a steady hand. We had a bunch of plastic cups. The challenge was to build the tallest tower you could in 1 minute. But here's the twist, you had to do it with your partner using only one hand each. This is a true test of teamwork. You have to be in sync. You have to communicate without words. You have to trust that your partner isn't going to make the whole thing tumble down. The pressure was on. Nancy and I went first. We started strong. Cup after cup, our tower grew. We were moving like a well-oiled machine. Okay, easy, easy, I kept whispering. We got it pretty high. Then, with 5 seconds left, I got a little too confident. I tried to place one more cup on top, and timber. The whole thing came crashing down. It was a disaster, but a funny one. Justin and Jessica went next. They were slow and steady. Their tower wasn't as tall as ours was, but it was still standing when the timer went off. Point for Team Timberlake. The score was tied. For the grand finale, we brought out the blindfolds again. This was the ultimate challenge. One partner was blindfolded and had to follow the other's instructions to complete a task. The task? To walk across the room, pick up a specific stuffed animal, a small blue bear, and bring it back. My turn. I was blindfolded. The room was suddenly a giant dark maze. Nancy was my guide. Okay, take 2 big steps forward, she said calmly. A little to your left. No, your other left. It's amazing how you can forget your left and right when you can't see. I was shuffling my feet like a penguin, my arms out in front of me. The suspense was killing me. Justin and Jessica were trying so hard not to laugh and give away my position. You're getting warmer, Nancy said. I could hear the smile in her voice. I reached out and my hand touched something fuzzy. Is this it? I asked. Yes, you got it, she cheered. I grabbed the little bear and shuffled my way back to the start. It felt like I had just won a gold medal. It was so much fun relying on her voice and trusting her completely. Then it was Justin's turn. Jessica was giving him directions. Okay, go right. 2 steps right, she said. But Justin went left. He walked right into a soft armchair. It was so gentle, but he jumped like he'd hit a wall. Whoa! He yelled, and we all burst out laughing. It was just one funny mistake after another. At one point, he was convinced he was about to walk into the kitchen. He was completely turned around. It showed us how much we rely on our senses and how much fun it is to be a little lost sometimes, especially when you have friends to guide you. In the end, after all the points were tallied, Team Fallon won. By 1 point, we cheered and did our own silly victory dance. But honestly, the score didn't matter. The whole night was the prize. We laughed until our stomachs hurt. We worked together as teams and learned that we make a pretty good team, even when I can't tell my left from my right. It was a night of pure fun, friendship, and connection. Everyone should try something like this. Grab your partner, grab your friends, and just play. You'll make memories that are way better than just winning a game.